All right, there we are. We're officially on Facebook Live right now. Shout outs going out to Jose Aguilar, to Humberto, to Ana, all who are logged in right now for what we hope will be various versions of this whole thing that we're trying out today. It is the music and story series that we're doing here a través de lo que es our Facebook page, facebook.com/DJROCKTONIK, and also on the Radio Tortilla page. So at any time, if you want to leave any feedback or let us know anything about how anything sounds or anything like that, it's real simple. You can leave a comment. Believe it or not, we also have a studio line, which you can give us a call at any time. It's 312-600-7090, 600-7090. You can give us a call there, and we can go from there and let us know how everything sounds and how everything is feeling tonight. So we're gonna kick things off actually because we were just listening to something that I pulled out of the old vault of mixes that I have. I have probably I would say 100 mixes at least. A lot of them on my various computers, but a couple of them también on my on CDs. And these are actually they're mixes that I made probably from 2003 through probably about 2010, 2011. And with a lot of these, what I decided to do, well, when I was working at a little radio station in Pilsen, which was really, really cool, I used to do this show called Freestyle Friday. I was also the programming director of that station, and we used to have a bunch of mixes that we would air on there. So what you were listening as we were kind of setting up, what you were hearing as we were kind of setting up was the actual mixes from back then. So we decided to just kind of pull some of those out of the vault. So the ones you heard at the beginning were the actual mixes from back then. So a little quick story on how all this came about. Basically in 2006, actually, I started working at that little radio station, WRTE, on the south side in Chicago. And when I was there, it was really, really cool because it was kind of the only radio station that used to play a lot of freestyle, a lot of house, but we're the ones that brought it back. I know it had been played prior to that, before 2006, in the 90s, and I saw Gene Romo earlier on who was watching us, but I know that was when we were just testing out the line. And if you get a chance, by the way, make sure you share. I need you guys to share this as much as possible. We've been promoting the hell out of it, but we just kind of decided last minute to do this. So our lighting just went out. We're about to put it back. That's how you know we're live. All right, there you go. All right, so the thing I need you guys to do is to promote the hell out of it and tell everybody what we're doing. So getting back to the original story, when I took over WRT in 2006, we decided to do something where we brought a lot of house music back, a lot of freestyle music back. And at first there was a little bit of backlash, but we made it work. And we already had something really cool there that was called the Hot Mix Show that I know that was done by DJ Greedy. It was also done before that by a guy named Speedy. I think his name is Sotero Gonzalez. And this little tiny station, man, it used to bolt the south side, southwest side, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. I remember DJ Greedy used to host the Hot Mix Show from 9 until midnight on Friday nights. And the phone lines, man, used to blow up like you don't even imagine. I mean, these phone lines would just be lit the whole night. You're talking about a really tiny radio station that was 73 watts of power. And in spite of the 73 watts, people would light it up. I remember one time we were doing a CD giveaway at Radio Arte, and if you remember, it was located on 18th and Blue Island, and we were doing a CD giveaway. And when we were doing the CD giveaway, pretty much we just had a bunch of CDs with a bunch of mixes from this group called the Hot Mix DJs, and we pretty much started telling people, stop by. If you stop by, I mean, we're just gonna give you a mix CD. And that's what it was. It was what it was. It was a mix CD. It was a mix sampler of what we were doing there on Friday nights. And I remember we ran out of CDs. I remember even people working for the city, if you get my drift, stopped by on a Friday night and picked up the CDs. And that was during the Hot Mix Show. I remember in the year 2010, we brought back, I think it was Gino Romo, after he hadn't been on the station, I think, for 20 years. So it was really, really cool to be able to do all this stuff there. I left there in 2011 before they sold off the station. It's gone off in a different direction, and that's fine. But that was kind of my idea of doing this, is to kind of do a series of various themes. So like today's theme is pretty much um, Pilsen, Pilsen jams, and talking about kind of what made all of this be what it is. And I was first exposed to this music when I was a kid. I used to actually hear freestyle and house music and a lot of stuff. Not so much on my own, but I used to hear freestyle and house music from kind of the cars blaring by. Because as a kid, I mean, I'm a little Hispanic kid, and the only thing I was ever exposed to was whatever my parents would play, which was like Vicente Fernandez music and Ramon Ayala. My dad would always be playing that. And then I remember I would hear, especially in the summertime, I used to live on 21st and Paulina. And in the summertime, especially, you would hear all these cars passing with a lot of this high energy music, and it sounded really cool, and it had all these synthesizers and stuff. And it just sounded cool. But I never really followed through with that kind of music probably until like 90, 91, as you kind of start creating your own identity and stuff. And then maybe I kind of was late to the dance because I didn't even start getting into the music until like 94, 95. That's around the time that I had already discovered even like West Coast and East Coast hip hop. And at that point, I mean, it's pretty much what you were exposed to when you would hear it on the mix shows on various radio stations. And then you started making money on your own, you know, when I was a teenager. And then I was able to go to the mix shops and kind of buy my own you know, CDs and my own tapes. You know, back then they would still sell cassettes and stuff. So that was kind of how I discovered it. Then kind of you go to like the late 90s, and that's kind of when I got my first pair of turntables. My very first pair of turntables was a pair of Gemini turntables that was really, really crappy, because when you do the turntable thing, it's supposed to have like an instant start. The digital ones or the CD ones back then, because I didn't learn on vinyl. I learned on CDs. I'm familiar with vinyl now, but CDs is still, till this day, you could put me CD players, and I love playing on CD players and like the 1000s. And that's how I learned, but the Geminis didn't have the instant start. So I remember I used to have to count music, and I used to have to count like 2 like beats ahead of the song in order to actually land on the song. Let me let you know, by the way, that before I keep on, because remember, this is music and stories. Right now we're doing stories. We're going to get into some music in a little bit. We do have a phone line. It's 312-600-7090. 312-600-7090. You can also leave comments. Again, this is a series of music and stories. Tonight, the theme is Pilsen and music. I know there's new people on the line right now. So Sean, man, Sean, I used to work with Sean at Nokia. That guy, haven't talked to him in forever, but I always see him. Oh, look, Gino Romo just showed up. Yeah, Gino Romo. The party can start. Gino, make sure you share this if you can, all right? Because I got something you're going to want to hear in a little bit. Lenny's on there. Sam is on there. Hector Oliva, which is DJ Sweet Sound, who actually mixed at the Hot Mix Show at WRTE a few times for us, is on there. Letty, of course, the one that puts up with me all the time, she's on there. She's the only one that puts up with me. So shout outs to her and Anna and everyone else that's on there. Jose, I know, is on there. So again, if you can, share this. I know our numbers are going up and down. It's the first show. But share this if you can. Again, the studio number is 312-600-7090. All right, getting back to the stories before we get into the music. So as I was saying, once we get into like the late 90s, that's really when I'm able to get more into a little bit of house music and freestyle and so forth. Because then at that point, you're welcome, Hector. Because then at that point, you start to, at that point, I'm a teenager. So I'm actually making some money, and I'm able to buy my own cassettes and all that stuff. So I got my first turntables. They were Geminis. And with the Geminis, man, they didn't have that instant start. So I remember I used to have to come in extra early. You know, later I made more money. I was able to buy other stuff. And then I actually remember when I was going to Columbia College, and probably I first went to Columbia in 1998, 97, right out of high school. I graduated from Kelly. I went straight to Columbia. And at Columbia, I remember I had always heard of WCRX. Hey, DJ Greedy's up. What's up, Greedy? We were just talking about the Hot Mix Show. Greedy, if you can share this, I have something that I'm gonna play in a little bit. that I want you and Gino's on here. I want you and Gino to hear it. I'm going to play it in a little bit. All right. So, like I was saying, so then I enrolled at Columbia College. And when I was at Columbia, you know, I had always heard of WCRX. And then I come to find out that WCRX is part of Columbia. I didn't even know this. I just enrolled at WCRX, or actually at Columbia, because I wanted to learn, you know, like radio and TV production. And then I find out, oh man, WCRX is here. I didn't even know this. So WCRX was there. It used to be in like this little broom closet in the 600 South Michigan building. And I remember I saw some guys in there. It was tiny, man, but they came out and they looked like so happy and so content. This is like 1997, 98. And I never thought really much of it. I left Columbia, actually. You know, it's not cheap. And then after that, I actually went to Harold Washington College for a couple years to get my gen eds and kind of decide what I wanted to do. Because I thought to myself, what am I going to do? You know, radio and TV production for a living? I'm like, come on, who are you kidding? So then I went to Harold Washington. What's up? Tony Techniques is up in here. Margarita's up on here. I got a funny story about Margarita. I'm going to say it in a little bit. Remember, it's music and stories tonight. The theme of the show is Pilsen. So like I was saying, then after that, you know, I enrolled at Columbia. And then finally, like years later, when I went back, I finally did my first day at Columbia College. I did my first show at WCRX. I think it was 2003. That's when that's where I met actually DJ Felix V, who's still my friend till this day. And it's funny because now, like, the way that life like goes in a circle, it's crazy. Because with DJ Felix V, his son is like an amateur boxer and he's great. And we've actually had him where I work now. We've done pieces on him because the guy's like a future like pay-per-view like boxer and stuff. So it's crazy how all that stuff comes in full circle. I want to get to something because right now we got DJ Greedy here, we got Margarita here, we got Tony Techniques up in here. This, and actually Gino, this goes back to March. All right, this goes back to March of 2010. Okay, March 2010. Back then we decided collectively to try to do, because we had done an event called One Night Stand at we got to visit Taco Bell soon for a segment of two DJs and nachos. We can record a whole podcast there, Greedy. The ones, los que tienen beverages, if you know what I mean, because there's some that are not dry anymore. So like I was saying, we had this thing where we brought Gino Romo and some of the WCYCers back into the fold, so to speak, to do a segment, or actually to do something with an event that we had called the One Night Stand. And to kind of celebrate, we had Gino Rock and Romo come in, and we had him do a segment where he was mixing, you know. So I'm gonna play this thing. Okay, let's see if we can get this going here. I want to see which one's the smaller file, because the smaller file is gonna be the one. Okay, I think this one's it. That's the one you're gonna want to hear. Okay, yeah, you remember the One Night Stand. Let's get this going. Let's see. Oh wait, that's not the one we want. Let's see. I think it's gonna be this one. That's not the one. That one, I almost gave it away. That's that one I'm saving. I'm saving that one for another day. Remember, again, if there's something you want to say or whatever, give us a call. 312-600-7090. Let me check if this is the one I'm looking for.
A youth-driven initiative of the National Museum of Mexican Art. Escúchanos online, WRTE.org.
90.5 FM, WRTE.
Let's see if you remember that, Greedy.
The Hot Mix Show. Hot Mix Show. Every Friday night, 9 p.m. till 12 midnight. Arguably the longest running Hot Mix Show on Chi-Town Radio. The Hot Mix Show, featuring the 90.5 FM WRTE official Hot Mix DJ. Give us a call at 312-455-WRTE. The Hot Mix Show starts right now on 90.5 FM WRTE.
Wait till you hear it, though. Wait till you hear it.
And now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our hosts for the evening. Our current host, the man, the legend himself, DJ Greedy.
Chill. Where you get legend from, dude? The real legend is actually right next to me. He's on the right-hand side.
But we have to give Greedy his props.
Yeah.
Thank you,
He looks
Greedy.
a little nervous. What? Am I making him nervous? He's a little nervous.
Very, dude. I mean, you're an icon. You're a legend, dude. You know.
See, now you're making me nervous.
But hey, you recognize the voice? That's the man, Gino Rock and Romo, in the building.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I got to take a moment. I do have to do some shout outs. I have to do it. I want to say
the airways actually are yours.
Oh, thanks. A big hello to my staff. I know they're listening. My front desk, Kathy, Rosie, my assistants, Priscilla, Anna, Maritza, Jessica, my hygienist, Sonia, my other partner in crime, Dr. Gigani. My hello to my parents, my brothers, Caesar, Alex, my sister-in-laws, Carmen, Valerie, my nieces, my nephews, my kids, Alyssa, Nicholas, Evan, my wife, Sandy. DJ Scream is tuning in also. His brother Reach, Gabriel Getan Garcia, Magic Juan, Harv Roman. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening tonight. Pretty cool.
And of course, later on, Ani's going to be mixing.
And, that's a little detail. Do you still want me to do that?
Yeah, we still do.
All right.
I'm pretty sure, Chicago definitely wants to hear you. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know if you want to talk to the man himself. 312-455-WRTE. 312-455-WRTE.
You know what? And I have to say, you guys already have pizza for me. You got some soda. I'm done. I mean, I'm good. I think you strong-armed me to do this. I'll be ready to do what, in about an hour, something like that?
Yeah, about 10 o'clock, we're going to have Gino Rock and Romo mixing it up. That's going to be coming up at about 10 o'clock. And then we're going to be talking during this hour as well about some of the stuff you're doing that you're involved in currently. But right now, Greedy, I'm ready whenever you give me the cue.
Okay. It's all you, bro. We got to send shout-outs to Felix V and DJ Panic. Resident DJs are waiting for more of the heads to get here. You got something to say, bro?
No, just happy to be here. Funny story. I came in. I know Gino since I was, 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I walked in the door. He said, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Gino." I told him, "Dude, don't you remember me?"
He's like, it's the black Lexus over there.
He was my neighbor. Across the alley back then.
That's a funny story.
Long time.
I thought he was going to tell you it's the black Lexus over there.
No, I didn't bring black one today.
All right, we're all in here. DJ Greedy, just give me the cue, dude.
Go ahead, bro.
Tradition.
Go ahead, Panic.
Let's go. We're going to get to live mix, right? Is that what we're doing?
We're doing a live mix.
That's
right
how
now.
we do
Here
it
we go.
every Friday night. This is the Hot Mix Show. Dale.
What does that mean? Just kidding.
Hey, hold on. Speaking about taking trabajo, I got a historical moment. I remember the time when you and Rick Guerrero had went on the air and said, we're going to exchange crates. You're going to do alternative and you're going to do...
You know what?
You remember that moment?
It was actually me and Luis Segura. Oh, big shout out to Rick Guerrero, my compadre, by the way. I know he's listening. Yeah, Luis Segura and we actually came one day. He gave me his alternative records. I gave him some house records. And he took my crate home. I took his crate home. And the next week we came in and we surprised each other. I did an alternative mix.
Yes,
and
sir.
I have it recorded somewhere, and I always get requested for it. And Luis Segura did an awesome job with that.
And he never plays house music.
No, he doesn't.
That was the only night that I can recall.
That was
pretty cool.
I think that night did it for him. I think after that, he decided I'm gonna go house now.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, you ready, Rock, or what?
Ready.
Let's go, Rocktonik.
Greedy, I know you remember that one. So Greedy right now is saying that he was sweating from being so nervous. I remember that night too because we had pizza. That's what I remember. We had pizza, we had soda. I forgot that DJ Felix V was there that night. And again, if you're just joining us, we're sharing music and stories today. We're sharing stories of a little tiny radio station that we were running back in the mid 2000s. Over on 18th and Blue Island, WRTE. For the most part, you could hear it pretty clearly on the southwest side, on any radio, part of the north side, but we used to get calls and everything from all over. I remember when I used to see the streaming numbers from WRTE, the numbers were like crazy, man. The amount of people that used to listen to us just on streaming. So it was really, really cool. So that was one aspect of it right there where we heard the Gino Rock and Romo thing. I don't know if he's still here, but That was one part of it. And then let's see, we have this other clip here. A ver, vamos a ver. You remember the music for Freestyle Friday, right, Greedy? Friday nights.
90.5 FM WRTE Freestyle Friday. DJ Rocktonik with you, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Give us a call, 312-455-WRTE. Text message or email, freestylefridayWRTE@yahoo.com. So, I've been looking and looking and looking to see if we could get Gino Rock and Romo at 90.5 FM before he's on the Hot Mix Show. And I think the host of the Hot Mix Show, DJ Greedy, is a little upset. He's going to be mad at me because I have the man here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome in Gino Rock and Roll.
All right. Thank you, guys. This is like a blast from the past for me.
A blast from the past.
You know what? Yes, I'm old. It's been a long time. It's been
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. This is actually I never expected. 3 weeks ago this wasn't even planned. It wasn't even thought out. But I'm glad to be here. It's actually pretty cool to be back on the air. Pretty amazing. It's been a long time. I know there's a lot of people out there haven't heard me in a long time on the radio. I haven't heard myself in the radio for a long time. But it was good to be back, at least for one night.
Well, Gino, we're so glad and so happy to have you on the air. And I know you're going to be spinning later on tonight. Okay, you're going to be mixing live. What do you have planned for us? Are we going to expect classic Gino, or are we going to expect something new? What can we expect?
I was just going to do a little seminar on brushing and flossing. That's what I was going to stick to. I had no idea I was supposed to bring some music. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, you know what? I've got nothing new.
It's okay.
I've got nothing new. Everything's old. You're going to hear probably just the same old Gino from a long time ago. We'll see how it turns out. You'll hear a lot of crackly sounds off my vinyl, but, that gives a character.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Facebook, and this is why you guys have...
Damn, we used to use Facebook back then?
On the 90.5 FM Hot Mix DJs page, we already have pictures up of what's going on in the studio right now. I'm looking at the picture of Gino messing around with his turntables, hooking everything up. He actually brought his turntables in here. He's going to mix off vinyl.
They still work.
And they still work.
Yeah, they still work.
Did you have to dust them off quite a bit?
Oh, yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea, but they still
They were
work.
that dusty?
They were dusty. So,
Okay,
so
well,
things are going to be sticking. That's going to happen. But that's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gino Rock and Romo is in the house. Give us a call, 312-455 WRTE. We're going to have some surprises coming up, so stick around. Keep it locked. It's 90.5 FM WRTE Freestyle Friday with the man himself, Gino Romo. Full house here. Let's keep this going.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right, so right now, Greedy's actually saying that it was 110 records that he played in 55 minutes. Are you serious, man? That's a lot of jams, man. That's a lot of jams. I don't know why this started playing, but I'm going to allow it. So anyway, so that was it. So listen, here's the deal. This is like totally free form. I want to send shout-outs to all the people who just joined, to Giovanni, to Maggie. Maggie was one of my students over at Columbia College. Robbie Linares, listening from Houston, Texas. To Omar, también para quién, para Tony. Who else we got? Ya me estoy haciendo bolas aquí con los laptops. But seriously, thank you to everybody who's listening. So we're kind of doing an open format. So we kind of got to some of the stories, so to speak, of WRTE. We're gonna have more. There's some other stuff that we have in the vault from back then, but for now we're not gonna just give it all away. And again, the different ones. He was baddest DJ in the South Side. You remember his drop? You remember some of this stuff? Let's see what we can get here, DJ Greedy.
The 90.5 FM Hot Mix DJs.
That was one of the drops that we had. If you just heard it right there, here's it. I actually had a chance to interview K7. Do you remember K7?
Where do you live now? Are you still on the East Coast, or are you like in Florida?
That's the raw interview. This is the one I actually recorded before we edited it down.
And I'm still up north. For some reason, I can't get away from this place.
Oh, okay. You love it a little too much.
Yeah, that's actually when I interviewed. I didn't even know I had that. That's when I interviewed K7.
To a four-man group, and the gentleman by the name of Spider also left the group, and then we dropped down to a three-member group, which was Tony, myself, and AB. That ended up transpiring until early 1988, if I'm correct. 1988, AB left the group. we put Angel in the group, and that's the most popular form of TKA. That was the most popular version of TKA that people would be familiar with. The Chicago audience and the Illinois audience would be familiar with that version of TKA. Mm-hmm. We stood together until 1992. Excuse me, I'm sorry. 1992. We broke up. We were originally supposed to break up in 1990, right before the Greatest Hits package with Maria came out. And at that point, I had written songs I had written 2 songs that ended up being part of the Greatest Hits package, which was "Is It Love" and "Maria," which is one of our greatest hits to that point. Mm-hmm. Those songs were supposed to be part of the K7 project. But what happened is Joey Gardner, our manager, convinced me to do these songs as for the fans, like as a lap hurrah. So we decided to put the Greatest Hits package together, and we were going to break up. We were going to tour under Maria, and then we were going to break up. We toured under Maria until 1992, early 92, and I went out as a solo artist and became K7 and the Swing Kids.
So that right there is actually an interview that we did with, I want to say that was with, I don't remember exactly who. I know it's from TK, but I'm trying to remember who it was that we actually interviewed. That interview was in 2010 or 2011. When I was doing Freestyle Friday, I interviewed TKA. I interviewed Lisa, which was actually one of the coolest things because not only was she super cool, but and with all the respect to everybody else that we interviewed, but Lisa was probably one of the biggest freestyle acts of all time. When you just talk about like records sold, she went platinum with one of her songs. K7. I think that's my interview. There's so many renditions of them, techniques. There's so many renditions of them que me hago bolas. So anyway, to make a long story short, the biggest one was probably Lisa because remember, she went platinum. And it was a really cool experience. I want to say I also interviewed Judy Torres, but that was in the CRX days when I was still a student over at Columbia College, probably around 2003. Real quick shout out to Lenny and his wife. They call her Nena. It's their, ¿qué dice? Oh, it's birthday wishes. So shout out to her and happy birthday. Le vamos a poner las mañanitas con José Alfredo Jiménez. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, so that was one of the coolest things that I was able to do. So we had K7. I remember I also had David from Nice and Wild, who I had a chance to interview. I believe it was also in 2010. I'm actually going to see if I can find that one right now on here. Yeah, here it is. Aquí está. There I am laughing.
All right.
I remember, and this is a true story. When I used to work in TV a few years ago, and one of our camera guys was Colombian. When I say Colombian, I mean straight out Colombian, Colombiano.
I don't know if I could say that story though.
Medellin, I want to say that's where he grew up.
What do you say about the internet and stuff like that?
Do you think that it overcrowds the market? Just something like that.
Yeah, we don't want to.
He wasn't really.
Too, it's freestyle is a part of their life.
I think we can allow that.
You know what I mean? And we have the last concert.
That's David from Nice and Wild.
Amazed because I saw a lot of people that were my age and they come out that they're loyal fans, but I also saw their kids, and all their kids were like singing along, and I was amazed to see 10 and 12-year-old kids singing my song that they weren't even born yet. But I guess the mothers on Saturday morning they put on the songs, and when they clean the house, and the kids they just love it too. It's like another generation coming along, and they're loving it.
That's a big thing in our cultura where we blast the music and clean.
Oh, absolutely. Motivational tool.
Hey, we got to do something to clean, right? Something's got to get us up off that chair.
Something's got to get us up off the bed, right?
So talk to me a little bit about just the history in general. Now, the big thing is, of course, Diamond Girl. And what year was that?
That was in 87.
That was in 87, Diamond Girl. Now, what happened to Nice and Wild?
Well, we dispersed it, and due to management problems and money problems, same old sad story like everybody else. And basically, what happened was that everybody went their own way. I stayed in the music business. The other two guys, they went off to do other things. One went into acting, and the other one went into I believe into a live band situation. But I stuck with it, and I just kept on going, and I'm still here. And I went ahead and I did a solo album. And I signed on with Micmac Records, and I also wrote songs for other artists like Tiana. And I did very well, and I still am doing very well. And I'm still with Micmac Records to this day. And all my records, they all play, and I'm really, really, really lucky. I'm humbled by the fact that I can still do what I do.
Talk to me about Diamond Girl, because Diamond Girl was an international phenomenon. I remember, and this is a true story. When I used to work in TV a few years ago, and
all right, I think we already heard that story. So anyway, that one was the one that we did with David from Nice and Wild. We did that, I believe, as well in 2010. And the thing is like right now I was just searching Diamond Girl on YouTube. You know what actually comes up on YouTube when you search Diamond Girl? It auto-completes it with the name Stevie B, because I guess a lot of people think that it's Stevie B, and it's not Stevie B. It's David Torres. David Torres was a vocalist of Nice and Wild. It was probably his biggest hit. But till this day, you still hear, Nice and Wild playing on not just, you don't just hear Nice and Wild, or actually that song of Diamond Girl playing on regular, like freestyle internet stations and stuff like that. You also hear that stuff playing sometimes on the music that they put up at the stores. I've heard it like when I've gone to like different stores and stuff at least once or whatever. It's so random, and it's kind of like, oh my God, they're playing David. It's Nice and Wild. So that's one of the biggest freestyle songs of all time. Let's see what else we got as we dig into the archives. Y'all don't want to hear me mix, right? Because I know we were talking earlier with my honey, and she's like, "Are you gonna mix or anything like that?" I'm like, people don't want to see me mix. You guys see me mix when I'm at Tavern on Rush. I mean, I could do a quick save if you pull my arm, but I think that we're having a real good time just kind of talking about music and stories. Why don't we take though a real quick musical break? Right, we're gonna take a real quick musical break. I remember this song was really popular on Freestyle Friday on the radio show. Again, I'm going to give you the phone line if you want to send us a text or give us a call. It's 312-600-7090. 600-7090. While we take this musical break, I want you all to go and to post, and tell the world, man, that we're here, that we're doing something really cool tonight. Because remember, the show's not always going to be about Pilsen. This is a theme tonight. We're doing the Pilsen radio station, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with Regresa Amor by Beyond Ordinary, all right? Taking you back to like when we used to do Freestyle Friday on Friday nights. Same thing, all right? Here we go. Shout out to DJ Shy Boy.
Don't treat me this way.
Shy Boy, go share this, all right? Go tell Felix.
Baby, I need you. Don't let me cry, amor. Yo te necesito. Regresa, amor. Baby, I need you. Don't make me cry, amor. Yo te necesito. In my dreams, siempre estás. making love to my body in the airplane, and that's perdido. I remember the first time we kissed. Me dio escalofrío, baby, I felt you. No podía pensar. The only thing I wanted was to be by your side. Estar contigo. Regresamos, baby, I need you. Don't make me cry, amor. Yo te necesito. Regresamos.
All right, we're back on the DJ Rocktonik DJ Series Live. Tonight's theme is Pilsen and Music. The studio line is 312-600-7090. 312-600-7090. Somebody said, what was the coolest guest you guys ever had over at WRTE? That's an interesting question. You know what's one of the coolest things I remember? I remember in 2010 or 2008. We had Miguel Reyes. We had him singing over at the Fiesta del Sol. We did a live broadcast from Fiesta del Sol that year, and we had like a whole tent. And even though we knew that we weren't going to be able to have like a performer at the main stage because there was a lot of politics and other stuff that went behind that. So what we decided to do is, let's make our tent like our stage. So I remember that Friday night we had Miguel Reyes performing live in the WRTE tent. Now, here's a funny story behind that. I actually didn't get a chance to see it happen live in the tent. And the reason I didn't get a chance to see it happen live in the tent is because we had somebody back at the studio who was board operating that was having issues that night. And the thing is that we had no one else to go and to show them exactly what needed to get done on the board, even though it was a very simple thing. And I had to leave Fiesta del Sol and I had to run over to the station to be able to basically press two buttons. That's that. Not that I'm upset. I ain't mad. I mean, it happened and it was a training ground. So that's the way it happened. I didn't get a chance to see anything. I was told that there was like a crowd around the tent, like a big crowd. It was on a Friday night. Weather was nice and everything. And he sang this song, actually. You remember this song? It's probably his most famous song. And I remember he was so gracious to us in the time that we were there. He was really, really cool with us. So that was probably the coolest thing that at least we had happen was to see Miguel Reyes perform live and knowing that we kind of put everything together. And how we were able to broadcast that from a tent at the Fiesta del Sol in the middle of Pilsen, and we were able to get it on the air and then broadcast it all to the area, the Southwest side and so forth. One of the other coolest, because I know somebody asked who's the coolest guest you guys had. I remember when we had Calle 13 go up there. I think it was in Calle 13 went up there. I don't remember when. I forgot. It was like 2008. We had Calle 13 go up in there. We had when it was Residente y Visitante, and they went up there. We had, you remember Toby Love, the whole bachata guy. He went up there. I have a picture with him. That was really cool. He went up there, I want to say, in 2007, 2008. We had Bellanova go up there. They were a really popular pop group back in 2008, 2007. But they went up there. They did their thing. So that was really cool. And I don't want to say that that's it, but those are the ones that come to mind. I know somebody asked that who was the kind of the coolest thing. I know somebody here earlier was sending shout outs, Margarita. It's funny because I don't know if you remember this, Greedy. I don't know if you're still up on there, Greedy. But we met Margarita to WRTE because that's when we were doing the fundraiser where we were raising funds for the station. And we were kind of putting, me and you, like, out of the goodness of our hearts, because we had so much love for the place, we put up our DJ services more or less free of charge, man. We put it up there and we donated our services for people. And I remember Margarita was about to get married, and she basically won my services in a contest. And then to this day, her and I are still Facebook friends. I remember I met her husband Pablo and their kids, and I did their wedding. And it's funny because now, again, going back to what I said earlier about seeing people like kind of do an evolution kind of thing, she is now a realtor, and I know that her and I have talked before about other stuff that has nothing to do with music, and a lot of it has to do with business. So it's kind of different and weird and cool how some of this stuff just kind of how it just kind of takes shape, man. It's really weird, and it's really freaky. Who else we got? We're kind of stuck right now, man. Where's everybody at? We're kind of stuck. So again, go back and share this. We're gonna take one. Let's see what else we got here in the vault before we get on out of here. Oh, I know you're gonna remember this one. Let's see here. Let's see if
Because no one else on Chicago radio dared to do it. We did it. Freestyle Friday.
You remember that one? Let's try this other one.
Chicago y el mundo. This is where freestyle lives on your radio. Freestyle Friday.
We got one more.
The only freestyle heartthrob radio show in Chicago. It's Freestyle Friday.
We got one more.
Freestyle Friday. Freestyle Friday. Coming at you every Friday night. Playing all your freestyle favorites. It is Chicagoland's only freestyle heartthrob music show. And don't you forget it. Freestyle Friday. The request lines are now open. Or send an email or text message. Now, Freestyle Friday, WRTE at yahoo.com. Freestyle Friday is back on its original frequency. Chicago, this is where freestyle lives on your radio. Freestyle Friday starts right now.
Yeah, we remember those. Those were the actual production pieces that we did for Freestyle Friday. We did that production probably in 2008, 2007, because that's when we decided to bring that show back, 2008, 2007. I was not the original host. Took over for someone else. It was in the year 2000, and I think I took over in 2009. October of 2009 is when I took over. I took over for that show for about 2 years. And confession, I told somebody I was going to make the confession today, and here I am making it. By the way, where's Mikey, man? Mikey hasn't checked in today. He's probably working. And Raul, boy. Both of those guys, they work for the city, and to this day, I still keep in touch with them. And I met them through WRTE. But one confession, man, is that I always, and Greedy knows this, it wasn't every week that I was there live. It actually was not often that I was there live. I used to load the show on Friday. So we would record the show Fridays at 3 or 4 o'clock. We would leave it loaded, and then they would play on Friday nights. And sometimes I would stay. Sometimes I used to stay and kind of run the board and make sure that everything was cool. But it was not every week. It's just, we used to put in so many hours there, trying to make sure that everything worked how it's supposed to work. That by the time it came to be Friday night, I was done. I was ready to go home. But I still had a passion for the show. And remember when I would do the show, because I was on the staff, so I would do whatever I would do, and I would get compensated for it because that was my job. But when I would do Freestyle Friday, it was kind of like I would do that on my own time. So I used to have to play with my hours a lot to make sure that I would get it done in the time that was allotted. So yeah, that was kind of how that worked with that whole spiel. Let's see what else we got here in our vault. We're checking the vault. We're checking the vault. Remember, if at any time, you want to hear anything, let us know. You want to give us a call, it's 312-600-7090. Leave a comment as well. Let's see. We're looking. We got some old sweepers here as well.
Alternative is here.
That's not one of them. Oh, I know you're going to remember this one.
WRTE FM HD1 Chicago, WBEW HD2 Chesterton.
That's the one we would play actually during the Hot Mix show. Trying to see what else we got here.
WRTE FM HD1 Chicago,
WBEW HD2 Chesterton.
9.5 FM Radio Arte, a youth-driven initiative of the National Museum of Mexican Art.
I remember we would hear the Hot Mix show, like sometimes I would hear it at home, and then by the time that it was done and then that would hit, it was like, oh man, the show's over. It was like it was midnight and now I have to go to sleep because usually the next day on Saturday I had to get up and go work the other job, because it was a labor of love, so I had to work 2 jobs back then. Let me get back into this other folder where I have some of the mixes. Let me talk real quick about the Hot Mix DJs, because the Hot Mix DJs, we haven't really talked about them. The Hot Mix DJs was a group of real cool cats that we kind of put together. It was myself, obviously DJ Greedy, DJ Panic, Master Marco, Felix V, Shy Boy, Arias. I want to say that was it. If there's somebody I'm missing, somebody let me know. Somebody who's on here. I know that the guest DJs were frequent. I know we would have Tony Techniques quite frequently. Trying to think who else. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Victor Lua, the pride of Phoenix, Arizona. He now lives in Phoenix. But Victor Lua was one of the DJs as well. But I remember we used to have the mixes. I think it was Tuesday through Friday. Don't ask me why we didn't have them on Monday. That's just how it was. We used to have them Tuesday through Friday.
Chicago, this is Masters in the Mix.
That was more from when I was at TRX. That's not what I wanted to show. Let's see. I'm trying to find these other ones, these other mixes that we had from back then. Oh, that's a DJ Greedy one.
Chicago, this is
But that's when we had it on Masters in the Mix. Because Greedy also was cool enough to participate with us when we were over at Masters in the Mix. That's a mix from August 2010. That's one of mine. Yeah, that's from 2010. Let's see what else we got.
.5 FM, a hot mix DJ.
You remember those drops? Let's see if we can get this one. This is one of the cats that we originally failed to mention. This is Victor Lua. Victor Lua always did like a lot of synth pop kind of mixes. I know he used to mix a lot in Pilsen. He was like Mr. Pilsen mixes. Let's scroll through real quick. I understood his synth pop and stuff. It was always cool, but I was always more of a fan of when he would mix a lot of. Thank you, Shy Boy. You shared the video. I was always a fan of when he would share the when he would do the mixes with like a lot of new wave ones. I'm just seeing these comments, man. I'm just seeing these comments. I didn't see these comments earlier. Do you still have the email freestylefriday@yahoo.com? I think I do. I have to check it. You had the lines blowing up and nobody to answer with your pre-recorded freestyle Friday. I remember one time I was there I stayed late, and then I went downstairs to check to make sure. I was staying there working on something, and I stayed there and I was working on something, and then we go downstairs, and I check. There was nobody there yet. Like Greedy wasn't there. It was like 7:40, but the show had already started because I had loaded it in. So I go downstairs, and then the phone line is ringing, and then I'm like, oh. So I pick up the phone line, and it's somebody making a request and a shout out. But it worked out because all I did was, because the show wasn't recorded like one whole track. It was actually track by track, so I could actually go on the air live, and I played it off like I was live. So now the secret's out. Freestyle Friday most of the time was pre-recorded. I think only once or twice we actually did it live. It was very rare because again, it was always so difficult to stay there extra time and do that. Jesusio, I remember Jesusio, man. I haven't heard from that cat in a while. And you know what's funny with Jesusio? Jesus used to actually have a show, if you remember, on Saturdays. It was called the Rock and Roll Wake Up Call, but he was also like our go-to guy for everything. He was like Mr. Technical, man. He could run a board. He could get you broadcasting from anywhere. And he was like an engineering student and a sound guy. I mean, he was the guy. And the last time I saw or heard from Jesus was probably like in 2013, 2014, when I was working over at Columbia College. And we were talking about something technical back and forth via email. And then I saw his brother. If you remember, he had his twin brother, which is Sal Ortiz, and Sal also was the tech guy for the National Museum of Mexican Art for a while. And that was the last time I talked to them was probably like 2013. I remember I ran into Sal at a Dunkin' Donuts on State and Van Buren. That was the last time. They told me that they were living together, that they just bought a house over on Pulaski and something. So unfortunately, they don't have a Facebook. I used to have their phone number, but I can't tell you how many times I've switched phones since I left WRTV. So yeah, credit where it's due, because that was a lot of stuff that he did for us that was big time and got us on the air. Let's see what else we got here. Shout out to Ramon. That's DJ MB. DJ Envy. Envy actually, did he ever mix? He did mix for us a couple of times. I know it was one of the pre-recorded mixes that we would air on the daily hot mix. DJ Miracle as well. DJ Miracle mixed for us more than once. That cat used to love coming down to the station and mixing live. He would love to. That guy could have mixed for like 3 hours if you asked him to. I also remember when, like, sometimes for whatever reason everybody would have like plans and they couldn't mix for us, and then I remember Greedy se aventaba las 3 horas mixing by himself, and I'll be like, man, that guy. But I know he would do it, and he would do it with like a lot of pride. Let's see what else we got. Pablo, shout outs to Pablo as well, who's watching. Let's see who else we got here. We're almost gonna wrap up, guys. So get in those requests and get in those other things ASAP. PJ Mayhem, DJ Mosdev, DJ Mind mixed on FNHMS and Urban Sessions. I'm not sure what FNHMS was, but I do know Urban Sessions was a Tuesday night show that Greedy used to have. That was a really cool show on Tuesday nights that Greedy used to have that would pretty much just play a lot of underground hip hop. Let's see. We're trying to check this other place where we posted the stream as well. People watch. Let's see if we can refresh that just so we can get our last shout outs out the way. Ya vienen. DJ Havoc, Cesar Perez, remember him? I mean, that guy is like, I mean, I have him on my friends list, but I know he's all over the place. I think he stays out in where does he stay? I think he stays out in Wisconsin or something. ¿Qué más tenemos? I think that's it for now. Shout outs. Right now we're listening to a mix by
with DJ Victor Lua on 90.5 FM WRTE.
Yeah. I do think, Sal, So I do think that one day we gotta do a hot mix show, like just on Facebook Live, like Facebook Live hot mix show. I don't know where we're gonna do it. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I think we gotta do one. I think we should do it at Felix's house. I think it should be Felix. It should be myself. It should be Tony, Shy Boy, Master Marco. ¿Quién más falta? Everyone else, man. One big party. I'm over here volunteering Felix V's house. But it'll be like the WRTE Hot Mix Show reunion. We're looking at what else we got. We're getting to our last shout outs. We're almost about to leave. Right now we're in the mix with DJ Victor Lua, WRTE guy. And again, if you never had a chance, you know what's still live? If you never had a chance to kind of experience what WRTE was, go to WRTE.org. WRTE.org. That website is still up and running. It'll bring back some memories, man. WRTE.org. We can broadcast from my place. We can broadcast from Greedy's place. We can do that. He won't mind. I don't know if you're talking about Felix, if he won't mind. We could broadcast from your place, Sal, but Felix lives closer. All right, let's see what else we got. We almost got to get out of here, man. It's already, what time is it? 9:03. Let's see what else we got. As we listen to let's see. There's one I really did want to show. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this is gonna ring a bell. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. We're ready. Okay, ya viene. This one is gonna take you back.
Rockin' Remo. Rockin' Remo. Rockin' Remo. Rockin' Remo. Rockin' Remo. Rockin' Remo.
So here's the deal. Do you remember when Gino Rock and Romo mixed at WRTE? March 26th, 2010. I found the mix. Okay, I found the mix. I have it in its entirety. Sound quality is not that great, but we're not going to play it tonight. We're going to play that one in a future edition of the DJ Rocktonik Music and Stories DJ series. Okay, what do you guys think about that? Let me know. All right. But we have it. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it in one of the future editions of the DJ Rocktonik Music and Stories DJ series. All right. Real quick, I gotta send a plug. All right. If you need DJ service, give us a call. 312-600-7090. 312-600-7090. Right now is the time to book. We got dates available. I personally will take care of you. So again, 312-600-7090. You can also check out some of our stuff on Yelp. We have reviews on there on Yelp. Just search Rocktonik Media Services. Hey, there has to be a point to the show. So make sure that you check that out. On Yelp, we have reviews on there, and also djrocktonik.weebly.com. We're going to be getting a domain on that as well. The other thing too, check out my YouTube channel. We got lots and lots of content this month, or actually this year coming up, including some of the stuff that we've just posted. We just posted the stuff on when we went to see the Selena statue over in Hollywood, and other stuff too. So we make stories on there as well. Just check out carlosmendezyoutube.com, and that'll take you straight to the YouTube page. So carlosmendezyoutube.com, that'll take you straight to the YouTube page. So check that out as well. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Search Carlos Mendez Radio. And obviously, you're following me on Facebook, because or else you wouldn't be watching this. Unless you got it from a shared link. If you're not on my friends list, make sure to add me on the friends list, and we'll go from there. And then I also have mixes on SoundCloud. Search DJ Rocktonik or Carlos Mendez Radio, and we'll get the stuff as well. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're about to leave. We're about to shout outs real quick to my cousin Antonio Mendez. I know DJ Switch is still on there. Pablo is still on there. Greedy's still on there. Tony Techniques. Shy Boy's up on there. We just volunteered Felix's house for when we do the Hot Mix Show live. Hey, Tony Techniques said he won't mind. So there you go. All right. All right, we got a couple of minutes. Let's see what else we got. I just played you the Gino Rock and Romo, and nobody said anything. Nobody was like, "Oh my God."
Gino Rock and Romo. Gino Rock and Romo.
There's some of his mix. March 26, 2010. Next time we're going to play it, okay? The other thing, too, is that night, if you remember, that night, it pretty much knocked out our streaming servers. We were actually maxed out at capacity. Like, nobody else could log in and listen anymore, which was really, really cool. I mean, we had never, ever seen anything like that. It was crazy. So that was interesting. Let's see what we got. We got a couple of questions here. Shy Boy, can I get a copy? And then Greedy, can I get a copy? You can get a copy when we post it. Let's see. And then Lenny just asked me, who is a Spanish rock DJ? Actually, I think most of the time that was me. It was either it was usually either myself or DJ Arias who were doing the Spanish rock. Yeah, so it was usually one of us that was doing the Spanish rock back then. Looking at the last of the comments as we listen to part of Gino Rock and Romo's mix from March 26, 2010. So on the next one, we're gonna hear it. All right, the next one we're gonna hear the whole thing. I'm also gonna let you all know when we're gonna have. That was before my time, probably. Greedy. Urban Soul played Spanish rock as DJ Scandalo. Yeah, that was probably before my time. Ya se nos apagó la luz. Paguen el bill. Yeah, so that was probably before my time. Shout outs to Michael Estrada. I know he's a WRTE alum. I remember Shy Boy. Shy Boy, are you talking about the night that Gino was there? I remember, this is Shy Boy. I remember there were so many people surrounding the building that the CPD was called. I'm wondering, are you talking about the time that Gino Romo was there? Yeah, I kind of remember that, kind of. But I was just trying to make sure that we had enough pizza and soft drinks and all that stuff. Porque yo soy del buen comer. Yeah, I remember that night. That was a crazy night, man. That was it's a bittersweet night as we get close to wrapping up. But it was a bittersweet night because that was kind of like, if you think about it, our last hurrah. Remember the day that we had the one night stand event with Gino and the rest of the WCYC crew? We had a really bad showing, and it had nothing to do with anybody that was there that night as far as like the performers or anything. But if you remember that night, obviously we recorded this a little hot. But if you remember that night, we got a really bad storm because it was in July. I want to say was it July? No, it wasn't July. It was like April, May. It was like April, May. So it was like April or May, and we got a really bad rainstorm, like bad. And I remember we were setting up the night at the museum in the hall that they had. We were setting all of that up, and As it turns out, no se nos fue la luz. Creo que no se nos fue la luz, but everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. It started raining like crazy, started pouring, and I want to say that maybe our head count was like 30 or 40 people that night. And I think a lot of those were giveaways because you remember we gave away some. We did some giveaways that night, and then the interesting thing that night, I don't know if I could say that story on the air, Sal. But anyway, so going back to the story about the one night stand event from 2010, that when we were raising money for the station, it rained really bad, so we maybe had 30 or 40 people show up. We still had to put on a show, and they put on a hell of a show, but it was for like 30 or 40 people. It was a really, really bad event. Had nothing to do with the people performing that night. I really firmly believe that had that night gone normal as far as the weather, that we would have had a really nice turnout. Because if you remember, the year before, the one night stand event we did in 2009, that event had maybe, man, I don't know how many people. I think we had, remember, it was at the west wing of the museum, so we maybe had 200 people. And 200 people at the west wing of the museum was packed. I mean, you couldn't even walk. And I know we raised a significant amount of funds that day. Can't say how much, but it was a good amount. And it really helped us, shine at a time when we had a lot of eyes looking at us. I do remember that in 2010, that was in April of 2010. And after that, I mean, you kind of felt the end nearing. Because after that, I probably lasted, if that was May of 2010, 17 months later, I was gone. Because I left, I remember my last time there was September 22nd, 2011. That was my last day, my last full day there. September 22nd, 2011. My last Freestyle Friday was September 30th of 2011. And then the station, I believe, went off the air December 31st of 2012. And I know somebody asked me before, like, did you ever hear the station after, after you left? I hardly did, to be honest. I kind of put that part of my life behind me, and that was it. It was a cool 6 years. It was a cool 6 years that I had. A lot of learning experiences. My biggest thing that I learned there was how to manage people. At the beginning, I wasn't very good at it. Toward the end, I learned patience, and it's stuff that I still use till this day. Let's see Sal's comment as we are going to wrap up for real. Yeah, I'm just reading what Sal, DJ Greedy, said, okay? He said, I remember the time we were giving away passes for a club, and all they had to do was show up and dance in front of the studio. We had some girls show up and dance for a couple of minutes on the corner of 18th Loomis, Blue Island in the winter. To be honest, I don't remember that. I probably wasn't there that day. But that does sound like something that would have happened. Again, I remember when we gave away, I don't think you were here yet, Greedy, on the chat yet. But I remember when we did we were giving away the mix CDs. I had probably like 30 mix CDs. And I think it had a mixture of all the mixes of the hot mix DJs. So I had like 3 mixes on it, and they were all scattered. Like it was all of us, like on different CDs. And we put them there. And se nos acabaron los mixes, and that was that, and everybody was coming in. I remember that, again, even like, man, CPD came in, and I remember CPD came in, and I'm like, oh God, what did we do? Did we pull the alarm? Because if you remember, when the alarm was pulled by accident, we used to have to get we used to have to pay a fine. And when we would pay a fine, I mean, nobody liked it. Nobody at the museum liked it. I used to have to hear about it. It was not fun. So I remember all of that. So listen, guys, it's 9:15. I do have to wrap up. In closing, I want to thank everybody for logging in tonight. We have almost 60 comments already. We've only been on the air an hour. I didn't have the intention of mixing tonight. I know somebody asked me to mix, but tonight I really wanted to make this kind of different, where we would hear some music, we would share some stories about the days in Pilsen. When we ran WRTE from 2006 through 2011, and then of course it left in 2012. Sal, most of the money raised went to pay for the alarm fees. Yeah, that's probably true. And God knows we had a lot of them. And the museum was not happy about that stuff. We have another show coming up. I will let you know when it'll be. It'll be later this month. And I'll post a flyer. Remember, each show is going to have a different theme. If you have suggestions on themes, you can inbox me and let me know. If you want us to do another Pilsen one, trust me, we have enough material, I think, to do another Pilsen one. We can do it. If you guys want to call in next time, you can and kind of talk with us for the hour or whatever. We can do that. This time, we gave a phone number out, but everybody, I guess, was more content with leaving comments. But the phone line is always open, 312-600-7090. So in closing, thanks so much for letting me share a part of your Thursday with you and letting me talk to you about something that was really important to a lot of us, to you guys, which is WRTE and Pilsen. And, you know, it's unfortunate how much has changed, but we can't do anything about that. And I think that it's really cool to see how many people have gone on and are doing good community work. I know DJ Greedy is doing a lot of community work in Pilsen. Sylvia Rivera, who was our general manager for so long, is doing good work still in the media industry. You know, Gino Romo, I mean, he's doing a great work in Brighton Park with his practice. I'm still very fortunate and blessed to be working in the industry as well. So it's really cool, and even though we're not under the same building, kind of making the wheels turn, it's cool to be able to still see that everybody's being productive with their lives. So again, we'll have the next show coming up in the next few weeks. This is not going to be like an every Thursday thing or an every Monday thing or an every Tuesday thing. The best thing I can tell you is to keep a lookout on my Facebook. I'll post it when we have a theme ready, and I'll have all the information on there. We're going to leave the video up, so if anybody wants to go back and watch this from the beginning, we're going to have the whole thing up. If you're just joining us, you missed a lot of stories. But thanks so much, all right? I am going to take live calls, and it's not going to be next week, Sal, because we're not doing a show every week. I was willing to take live calls. We gave the phone number out. It's 312-600-7090. 312-600-7090. So that's the phone number all the time. So that's that. But seriously, if possible, maybe we can get something together where all of us can get together and do a night. And it doesn't have to be at somebody's house, but I don't know, Hot Mix DJs Live or something. If anybody has a connection somewhere that they're currently spinning, you know, Sal, I know you have a lot of connections. So if we can do like a takeover night, that'd be great. Just to kind of catch up, and I really think that people would show up. All right, I'm out of here. We're gonna leave the video up. Remember, follow me on Instagram, Carlos Mendez Radio. Follow me here, and then follow me on my YouTube channel, which is Carlos Mendez YouTube. Make sure to follow all my other projects. I do a fantastic Tejano show on the weekend, the podcast. I'll need you to follow that as well. And last but not least, remember, if you need any DJ service or anything of that nature, we're taking bookings right now. We are in the Rocktonik Media Services, 312-600-7090, or inbox me. Check out our Yelp. We have great reviews on their Rocktonik Media Service. All right, we're going to wrap. Until next time, this is Carlos Mendez, DJ Rocktonik. Peace, everybody. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend. God bless you.